Hi there. My name is Mark Cormier. We're here with Morning Flow. My student today will be Kathy Cormier, and she'll be joining us shortly. So, in the meantime, get yourself ready to do some yoga. Grab a mat, water bottle, maybe some bricks. You can always use books. You don't have bricks. Anyway, we'll get started real soon. Welcome, Kathy.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
How does that look? Does it feel good?
Yeah, let's see. Excuse me.
Awesome. How are you today, Kathy?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Anything you'd like to work on?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths? All right, we'll do some fire breath to get it going.
Excuse me.
All right, so let's get going. I'll allow you to start with wide feet, hands on your hips. With hands on our hips, let's just march it from side to side. Just finding our feet, starting to wake up our body. Now letting those marches get a little slower, smaller. Now grounded through 2 feet as we sway it from side to side. Starting to move towards center, equal weight through both feet. Now we have a choice, either keeping your stance wide or narrowing your stance to challenge your balance. The tightest you'd go would be big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a stance that works for you, I'll allow you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. A slight tuck of the chin without shortening the neck. Soft eyes if you're comfortable with closing your eyes. And starting our practice this morning, just watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath. And as you shape a long, smooth inhalation in, followed by an equally long, smooth exhalation out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to move towards a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll encourage you to draw the low belly in and up, abdominal engagement, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up. With that abdominal engagement, squeezing a little more air out, more importantly, providing structural support for our spines as we move through these shapes and sequences. To this deeper, fuller breath, with that abdominal engagement on the exhale, I'll invite you to move towards a go-to breath in many flow practices, the Ujjayi, the victorious breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice. The sound of which often compared to the sound of the waves of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this deeper, fuller breath, 2 more details before we start to attach breath to movement. I'll invite you to take the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, lifting the chin if you closed your eyes, opening your eyes, hands by your side. Keeping it simple, just working arms and shoulders as we inhale the arms up and over the head. Exhale, arms back down. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Observing the natural rhythm of the shoulders one more time as the arms elevate, the shoulders elevate. As the arms descend, the shoulders descend. Half sun salutation, adding a forward fold and a back bend. Inhaling up. Exhaling, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to find length as we arc the back. Hands can cap the knees. On the exhale, rounding the spine as we fold again. Hands can catch the back of the shins. On the inhale, moving towards a flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead on the inhale. Exhaling, hands by your side. 2 more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Inhaling, finding length, hands can cap the knees. On the exhale, folding again, hands can catch the back of the shins. Inhaling, hinging at the hips, moving towards a flat back, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall, hands by your side. 1 more to go. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhaling, finding length. On the exhale, keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A, and I'll ask you to go sideways here. You at home stay just as you are. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again and grounding down through your hands and either finding your down dog or cycling through vinyasa. If you choose vinyasa, elbows stay soft as you find a push-up. Inhaling into back bend, be it cobra or up dog. And then on the exhale, back to down dog. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to add a little bit of movement, walking the dog from side to side, bending one leg deeply, grounding down through the opposite heel. Same stretch both sides, just seeing how your body feels this morning. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine. Deep, full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, I'll invite you to bend the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher. More space in that low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, arms out to the side, then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. Let's do one more sun sal. We'll do it exactly the same. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, either back to down dog or right off the bat. I'll invite you to cycle through that vinyasa, keeping the elbows soft the whole time. Finding your push-up, chaturanga. Inhaling into your back bend, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or cobra. And then back to down dog, or Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing pose. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and as your Ujjayi breath flows out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, I'll invite you to bend the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Awesome. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, Urdhva Hastasana, hands overhead pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do The second classic warm-up exercise in flow yoga, Sun Sal B, Surya Namaskar B. As we inhale into a chair, we'll do a flow style. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, glutes engaged to support a back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Take your time, whatever choice you make, finding your flow, following your breath. From down dog flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes for a nice Achilles tendon and calf stretch. And then looking between the hands as you bring that right foot through, landing it lightly, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for our warrior one. And then riding the exhale back down to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Always finding that balance between your effort and your ease. From down dog, second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes for a nice Achilles tendon calf stretch. And then looking between the hands as you bring that left foot through, landing it lightly, spinning that back heel down, back leg long, back leg strong, arms out to the side and then overhead. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. And again, as we hold down dog for a few breaths, either holding it in stillness, seeing what arises, or stirring it up with a little movement, doing whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your body. Most importantly, starting to connect with your feeling body. If you chose to add movement, moving back towards relative stillness. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands back to your heart. A slight tuck of the chin without shortening the neck. Coming back to that internal focus. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. I'll invite you to bring hands to hips as you either step or maybe jump your feet hip width apart. And we're going to work with that fire breath today. So short, sharp exhalations out through the nose, definitely a great way to get our heat up. Also, if you have any lingering congestion from sleeping, which happens, that's a good way to clear that. So, you want to get your shirt off before we start? Awesome. You're getting ready for that heat?
Yes.
Yes. All right, feet hip width apart. So we're going to bring the arms up to one side. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to pass the hands through center. We're going to give our wrists a little flick. And we're going to work with that fire breath, that short, sharp exhalation. We're halfway done. A couple more each way. One more each side. And then back to center. And either stepping or maybe jumping it back in. Sun Sal C, an extended standing pose sequence. Yeah, thank you for going sideways. Again, at home, stay just as you are. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. Hands can cap the knees. On the exhale, folding again. Hands can catch the back of the shins. Now grounding on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Your choice. So we're going to add a hip opener to our three-legged dog on this one. So big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight, stacking the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between the hands, bringing that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, finding your warrior one, arms up and over the head. In warrior one, let's bring hands back to the hips as we spin the back heel up and take a big step in. Moving towards our warrior three balance challenge here. As we start to balance on that front foot, lifting that back foot up. You could work a very minimal warrior three, just hanging out here. Or starting to pitch the body forward as you lengthen through the legs. Either keeping hands on hips or working arm variations as we stretch those hands back. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Now finding your airplane arms, arms out to the side. Stretching wide across the front of the heart. Now sweeping those hands in front as if you're holding a large glass ball. And lifting the face to look through that ball. Hands in front come to the heart. Heart hands come back to the hips. Landing that back foot lightly for our warrior one prep. Hands stay on the hips. And then, once you find a length of stance that works for you, we can stretch those hands high to the sky. With the breath, breathing in, gathering up the energy, straightening front leg without locking knee. On the exhale, cactus arms. We'll do this 6 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out and holding your cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with, and I'll invite you to ripple those fingers, keeping our hands simple. Now hands come back to the hips. We're going to turn warrior one hips into warrior two hips as we steer the hips to face the side. And let's see, I think we're good here. Do you want to change directions? I just want people to see, yeah, there you go. But you want to make sure you have your right foot front, left foot back, yeah. Awesome, awesome. So now the hips face the side, one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. Yeah, so you want to add that drishti, nice. From here, let's paint rainbows. Inhaling, straightening front leg without locking the knee. Exhaling back to warrior two. We'll do 6, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2, breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1, breathing in and holding. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, breathing into that front lateral line, more space between each rib, and breathing into that space. Turning a reverse warrior back into warrior two. From here, transitioning to the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip, other way around, and base of rib. We're going to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs, more space. And then grounding bottom hand down, either using the shin or grabbing a brick outside the calf. Do you want a second brick, Kathy?
Yeah.
I'll give you a second brick. I want to bring those, but I want to have a little actual physical contact there. And that'll add to the sense of stability in the shape. Awesome. Opening up that top shoulder. Stretching hand high to the sky. And it's a lovely, lovely triangle. every breath in, gathering energy in your center of balance, a big ball of energy in the center of yourself. Every time you breathe out from this place of center, getting bigger in space, sending energy out through both arms, both legs, both ends of the spine, connecting with the pulsation of the breath. At home, feeling free to stay in your triangle. It's a challenging pose. If you'd like to have another balance challenge, top hand finds the hip. We're moving towards the half moon. Shifting the weight onto the front foot as we take a big step in. There's different ways to do that. Kathy's got the staying in frame concern that you don't have at home. Right hand off to the right, and also just nice and wide. Give yourself a nice solid base here. Maybe even a little bit forward, right there, yeah. So you have a big square here. And then lifting that back leg, opening up that top shoulder, stretching hand high to the sky. Yeah, make sure you're solid and steady. I'm going to hold it a little bit. And I'm going to give that cue again. So breathing into your center of balance, a big ball of energy. You can feel that energy. And then sending that energy out. As you find more amplitude in the shape, choosing a place to look that works for you. Down is very grounding. Off to the side, a little less so. Up to the sky, more challenging than you think as we play with our proprioception. And that's an awesome, awesome triangle. Or, sorry, half moon. Coming down easily, there's no rush. Hand finds the hip. We can land a short stance. That back foot comes down. Shifting the weight into the feet as we come on up. Hands find the hips. We're going to lengthen our stance, shifting weight onto the front foot. Coming back to our warrior two. One long arm. And then from here, a big windmill of the arms, stretching out our shoulders, finding your low lunges to spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Awesome. And again, as we hold any of these shapes, either holding them in stillness, it's a great way to work a pose, or maybe adding a little movement, just stirring it up. Again, whatever feels right and good for you. Sometimes it's good just to chill and kind of connect with the stillness of the universe. Sometimes it's good to move as we connect with the movement of the universe. And from a place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness. So we're not going to do a prone back bending set this morning. I want to focus more on the standing poses, but I do want to play with a plank pose. So I'll invite you to come forward to your plank. And let's hold this for 6 long, slow breaths. Feeling that connection between your head, your hips, and your heels. And this is an excellent exercise to build strength in a limited space. So if you're in a hotel room or airport lounge, wherever, we were just traveling, so that's why I say that. It's surprising how quickly heat starts to build up, even though there's no overt movement. And if you're a little trembling, that's okay. Now let's do one more breath here. So long, smooth breath in. And then on your exhale, navel to spine. As you lift the hips high, coming back to your down dog shape. So we're going to work that standing sequence on our second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. We're going to start with that hip opener. Left leg high to the sky. High in the right toes as we stretch out our Achilles tendon. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight, stacking the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And now looking between the hands. As you bring that left foot through, spinning the back heel down. Finding your warrior one, arms up and over the head. And take your time. From warrior one, we're going to bring hands back to the hips as we spin the back heel up and take a big step in, preparing for our warrior three. Yeah, maybe a couple steps in. So you might even start from a shorter stance. That's a pretty challenging place to move to the balance. So make it easy for yourself. Shifting weight onto that left foot as that back foot gets light. You could work a very minimal warrior three. Back foot could stay close to the floor. Taking it bigger if it feels right and good. Pitching the body forward, lengthening through the legs. Working the arm variations, we can stretch hands towards that back foot. We can stretch our arms out to the side, airplane arms, wide across the front of the heart. Take your time. Now sweeping those hands in front as if you're holding a large glass ball and challenging your proprioception as you look through that ball. Hands in front come back to the heart, or find the heart. Heart hands become hip hands as we land that back foot lightly. Hands stay on the hips. Yeah, find a length of stance that works for you. We'll turn warrior one hips into warrior two hips as we open the hips to face the side and you're facing camera. Awesome. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. In our warrior two, I'll invite you to paint rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Keep going like this, Kathy. I'll give another cue here. Maybe pretend like you're pulling silk threads and you don't want to tear those threads. A couple more times. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one here. Breathing in and breathing out. Back to your warrior two. Transitioning to the triangle. Yeah, I'll grab your bricks for you. You can grab it yourself. Okay. That's why I'm here. I'm your yoga servant. So from warrior two, yeah, go to warrior two first. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip. Other way around. And base of rib.
I don't know why I have that one.
Crease of hip, base of rib. You want to deepen here and lengthen here. Nice. And then keeping a little spring in the knee as you ground that bottom hand down. You can use the shin or you can use those bricks. If you do use the bricks, I like to have a little bit of physical connection here. And that kind of adds to a sense of stability in the shape. Opening up that top shoulder. Stretching hand high. Choosing a place to look that works for your breath and your balance this morning. Down to the ground, very grounding. Off to the side or up to the sky. And if you try one and it doesn't feel quite right, always feeling free to try another. As you hold the triangle, another few breaths. Let me again just give that cue here. Breathing in to the center of yourself. Big glowing ball of energy. And then from that place, sending energy out through the arms, the legs, both ends of the spine. Finding more amplitude in the shape from the inside out. Feeling free to hang in the triangle or taking your time here. There's no rush at all in any of these balance poses. Moving towards the half moon. Hand finds the hip. Taking a big step in. So set your base. Left hand off to the left. And I like, you can always challenge this, but at least initially, starting with a nice big wide base here. You might see an imaginary square here. That's one point of the square. That's the other point of the square. And you've got an invisible point there and an invisible point there. Lifting that back leg. Opening up that top shoulder. And if it doesn't quite work, feel free to try something else.
I'm just trying to frame myself.
Yeah, it's a little scary next to the windows. I've been there.
There we go.
And then stretching that hand high. If you'd like. If it's not right this morning, don't do it. And let me give that cue again. Breathing in to your center of balance. And then from that place of energy out, connecting the center of yourself to the periphery of the room. Coming down easy peasy. Hand finds the hip. You can land a short stance. That back foot comes down. No big deal. Shifting the weight into the feet. Hands find the hips. Shifting weight onto the front foot as you lengthen your stance. We're moving back towards warrior two here. Yeah, center yourself in frame. One long arm. Looking out over those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. And then from here, a big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders, spinning back heel up for your low lunge. And then back to down dog as you deep full press. Awesome. And I love how slowly sequence, really connecting with their feeling body. Taking the time to feel. And it's a great way to start out your day. When you start feeling, you can feel the rest of the day. Sometimes it's not always, we feel lots of different things, big range of emotion. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay there. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding again. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair. Exhaling, taking it low. On the inhale, rising on up. And on the exhale, hands by your side. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. This time adding an isometric engagement. As we press the palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of our center. And then lifting the chin, tall through the crown. Hands by our side. Hands find the hips as we either step or jump our feet, hip width apart. And we'll work with that fire breath again, those short, sharp exhalations out through the nose as we bring the arms out to each side. On the exhale, passing the hands through the center, giving those wrists a little flick, and then switching the cross of the hands. Halfway done. Two more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it back in. Standing half lotus. Hands find the hips as we shift weight onto the right foot. You might angle those toes out just a tad. Bringing left ankle on top of the right thigh. And either staying here or sitting down in an invisible chair as we lower our hips at the same rate.
Right ankle on top of left thigh.
So you're going to have left ankle on top of right. Yeah, so you can shift weight. Yeah, so this way. Yeah, awesome. Hands either stay on hips or we stretch those hands down to the floor. Long through those fingers, yeah. Arms out to the side. Now sweeping those hands up and over the head as if you're holding a large glass ball. And maybe lifting your face to look through that ball. High hands come back to the heart. Hard hands become hip hands. Straightening that right leg without locking the knee, lifting left thigh high for the flamingo, the toe points softly down. And either staying there or lengthening through the leg as you lean a little bit forward, gathering energy in your center of balance. Working ankle variations this morning as we flex and point the toe. Now inverting and everting the foot. You turn it in and turn it out. So it's, yeah. Hold on. Let your ankle relax. It could be a very small motion. Yeah, so it's like this. Now circling that ankle 3 or 4 times one way, and then 3 or 4 times the other. Coming back to center, a soft point to the toe, lifting that leg just a little higher, and then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through, and we'll come back to our warrior one prep. I want to make sure you're going to face the camera. Excellent. You're going to twist this way. Okay. So hang on. Yeah, there you go. So right hand catches right hip. That's our front hip. Finding length on the left side, reaching up. And then reaching out. 6 times. Reaching up. And reaching out. Reaching up. And out. We're halfway done. Reaching up. And out. Last 2. Up. And out. One more, up and out. Now you're going to spin the back heel up. You're going to ground that back knee. Slow, slow, slow. Unfurling the back foot to stabilize the shape. One more time, reaching up. And you're going to reach, reach, reach. Starting the twist with the wrist. Sliding to the elbow. Finding your prayer hands. Either looking down, off to the side, or up past that top elbow. And you look a little short in that twist. You want to go a little bit longer? Would that feel good for you? Yeah. Nice. As you press those palms together, open heart, open throat. I'll invite you to lift the chin ever so slightly. Nice. Keeping the brow nice and smooth. From this place, framing front foot with both hands. Tucking the back toes as you lift that back knee, finding your low lunge. And then back to down dog, as you will. Deep full breaths. So this is where we tend to get confused. I think I figured it out. So we're going to do a swan or pigeon, but because your left leg was back, I think we're going to start with
My
the
right leg, actually before I think
what we did. So
Yes.
we shifted weight
my
onto right
leg,
foot,
yeah,
and then we went here. So the left leg was back, right foot was front.
right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have the left leg high to the sky for a three-legged dog. Keeping the left shoulder just as it is, stacking the hips. Now bending that leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between the hands, sweeping that knee towards the wrist. We're moving towards the swan, keeping the knee joint closed. Unfurling the back foot, well, actually walking the foot back, settling those hips at the same rate. Now unfurling the foot to stabilize the shape. Setting the shoulder blades back and down. You might use the tips of the fingers to do that. Open heart, open throat. And then leading with the heart, just like in the sun sails, finding length as you go long through those arms. If your forehead comes easily down with the arms in extension, you'll keep the arms in extension. If that feels a little bit much, feel free to cross the forearms or making a pair of soft fists to support the forehead. As we hold the shape, either hold it in stillness, or maybe adding a little wiggle, a little waggle, almost like a roulette ball, settling into its slot, and then relaxing into the shape, just letting it be super, super heavy. From this place, walking the hands back in, taking the time to set the shoulders. Again, you might use the tips of the fingers, shoulder blades back and down. And we want to draw everything up. So Mula Bandha, the root lock, draws all the way up to second chakra, third chakra, fourth chakra as we float those hands high to the sky for the flying swan. Awesome. And either looking up through that glass ball or forward or down, your choice. Now spinning the palms out, grounding down through two palms. Make sure you have a nice base here. As you tuck the back toes, we're moving back towards our down dog, keeping that knee joint closed initially, and then very carefully opening up that knee as we invite some circulation into that knee joint. Maybe give it a little shake, and then grounding on down. Feeling free to hang out here or cycling through vinyasa, your choice. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, this time finding a clasp of the fingers. Keeping the heels of the hands together, elbows wide as you try to pull those fingers apart. A tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of your center. And then lifting the chin, tall through the crown, hands by your side. Hands find the hips, we're moving towards standing half lotus, second side, as we shift weight onto the left foot. Right foot gets light as we bring it on top of the thigh. So take your time. Hands on the...
Did the other one before, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to cue it like this. So we're going to do left foot. So for the purposes of our video, I'm going to cue left foot on top of right.
That's good.
Hands can either stay on the hips, or we can stretch those hands down to the floor. Yeah, so I'm gonna go this way here. So I just want to. So let's balance on our left foot here. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Now hands are gonna go out to the side, airplane arms. Now we're gonna stretch those hands high as if we're holding a large glass ball, and maybe looking through that ball.
Oh, you're right. We actually did the other side before. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. High hands come to the heart. Hard hands find the hips. Straightening that left leg, stretching right leg high, soft point to the toe for the flamingo. Feeling free to stay here, leaning a little bit forward as we draw energy into center of balance as you lengthen through that leg. Working the ankle variations as we point and flex. I'll let you do that on your own a few times. And then the inversion and eversion, let me demo here. So it's, you turn it in, not a big movement. And then you'll work those circles 3 or 4 times one way, and then 3 or 4 times the other. Coming back to that soft point of the toe as we lift the leg a little higher. Make sure you're leaning forward. You don't want to take it in the low back. And then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through, getting ready for our twist. And I think you probably want to be the other way, so you got left foot front. So I think this way, yeah. Left foot front, right foot back. Left hand's going to ground left hip. You're going to find length as you reach up.
Yeah. I did that side before.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because I was over that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So
yeah,
you
it's
get,
okay.
you get your right foot front, and I want to do the left foot. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened. So left hand's going to catch left hip. You're going to find length on the right side, reaching up, and then reaching out. Up, and out. Up, and out. We're halfway done. Up, and out. Last 2, up, and out. Last 1, up, and out. Now reach, you're going to spin the back heel up. We're going to land that knee. So take your time, set your stance here.
That's right. I apologize.
It's all good.
Fixing that.
Yeah. So you're going to find length again on the right side, reaching up. Now you're going to reach, and you're going to move towards that twist. So yeah, so start from the wrist. It still look a little short here. So yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Nice. You want to slide to the elbow, finding your prayer hands. As you press those palms together, open heart, a little lift to the chin, keeping the brow nice and smooth. So with that back knee down, you can twist maybe a little more assertively here, but make sure that it feels good. Coming out of the twist easily as we frame front foot with both hands. Tucking the back toes, lifting the knee as we find our lunge. And from lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. So let's see, we did left leg for the swan, so we're going to do right leg for the swan here. And this is where we always get confused, but by talking through it in our heads, it helps eliminate some of the confusion. And that might be a technique you'd use not just on the yoga mat. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight, stacking the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now keeping the knee joint closed as we sweep right knee towards right wrist. Walking the left foot back as you settle the hips at the same rate. Unfurling the foot to stabilize the shape. Maybe finding the tips of the fingers as you move those shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat. And then leading with the heart. And as you walk those hands front. You're going to take your time, feel the stretch in your back. Now if your forehead comes easily down with the arms in extension, cool. If that's not the case, of course, feeling free to modify as you either cross the forearms or find a pair of soft fists. As we hold the stretch, either letting it be still and seeing what arises, or adding a little wiggle, a little waggle. And then once you've found your optimal alignment, relaxing into the shape. Now finding the tips of 10 fingers as we walk the fingers back in. Take the time to reset those shoulders back and down. And then we want to draw everything up from the root chakra all the way through to the crown as we float those hands high to the sky. So if you're holding a large glass ball, either looking down off to the side or up through that large glass ball. And this is, Kathy makes this look easy, but this is not an easy shape.
It's not an easy shape.
Not at all, but it's a great way to connect with your center. From here, we can spin the palms out, tucking the back toes, carefully lifting that back knee, or lifting, so tucking toes, we're moving towards our down dog. I invite you to keep that knee joint closed, at least initially. And then carefully opening it up, maybe give it a little shake, inviting more circulation. And then when you're ready, grounding on down one more time today, either holding your down dog or cycling through vinyasa, your choice. From down dog, I'm going to let you to land your knees lightly as you find a child's pose. Either with the arms in extension, or again, consider crossing the forearms and making a pair of soft fists. Whatever works for your body, your breath, your internal balance, your state of mind. Not working too hard, not settling into being totally slack, just that perfect place between the two. Relaxed but alert. That sattvic, that illuminated energy. From our child's pose, I'll invite you to walk the hands back in and bring your feet off to one side. Let's do a long, slow roll down onto our backs. Feel free to catch the back of the thighs for the assist, or not. And you've got plenty of strength. I don't think you need to use the assist. So just finding your length, finding space in your spine as you slowly lower yourself down. When you get down, I'll suggest full body stretch, arms overhead as you point fingers and toes, big breath in. And then a big breath out as you sweep your hands by your sides, widening your thighs, scooting your head back as you flatten your shoulders. Tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose, doing whatever else feels right and good for you this morning. Initially focusing on your breath as it flows in and out. But as we hold our Shavasana, even letting that focus soften as we bring our senses inside. At home, feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as you'd like. For the purposes of this class, I'll invite you to press your low back into the mat to engage your core. As you draw one knee in, and then the other, hands catch the shins. Using your thighs to massage your center of balance as you gently lift and lower the low back and hips. Anything else that feels right and good? Yeah, so you want to keep the head down for this phase. This is Apanasana. And now reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin, keeping the neck relaxed. So you want to lift and tuck your chin with your hand. Yeah, use your hand. I'm going to let you use your hand. Keep the neck relaxed. Chin stays tucked as the hand comes back to the shin. You want to use a little core engagement, a little momentum. If you need to modify the hand position, go for it. You start to rock front to back, rock front to back. You might go a little bit bigger. You might catch the back of the thighs instead of the front of the shins. Yeah, use your legs. And then a little core engagement, a little momentum as you pop on up to find your cross-legged sit. As we sit grounded down through our sits bones, I'll invite you to bring the heels of your hands to your thighs, pushing the thighs away as we sit up a little straighter, a little taller. Hands find the heart as we come back to that internal focus, ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and out. From this place, I invite you to bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you, and in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me here.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you at home for practicing with us. And I love the way Namaste sounds like have a nice day. So have a nice day all, and we'll see you next time.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Namaste.